What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Redriveraviation. Hope you're on a fantastic day today, and today I have a very interesting video for all of you. NG Models has a serious advantage over GeminiJets and other model aircraft manufacturers that nobody is talking about. And I think it is a perfect time to acknowledge what this advantage is, and I think we all need to become aware of it because it is a serious asset that all of you can utilize, and I think it's really important to acknowledge it today. So I really hope each and every one of you are excited for today's video, and without any further delay, let's just go ahead and talk about what this advantage is from NG Models. And it's a topic that we haven't talked about at length in quite some time because it hasn't been relevant for a while, but now it's really important, and let's go ahead and take a look at that. And ladies and gentlemen, that is the NG Models Collector's Reward Plan CRP card. So this is really important as all of you know, 2 years ago in January of 2022, I made a video regarding the CRP plan that NG Models debuted at that time, but it wasn't valuable for a very long time because you couldn't redeem the card. So feel free to refer to that video if you're curious on what it is, but here's a brief description right here. Is pretty much NG Models sends a card with all their model aircraft now that's worth 10 points as a currency, and what this does is has free you obviously have collector's benefits, which includes corresponding benefits for free models, participating in production plan arrangement, which still hasn't been put in place, input into creating new molds and updating existing products, etc. So it took quite some time, but after about a year and a half, they finally got this part started for these corresponding benefits, which includes getting free models. And I want to talk about that because, of course, I accumulated all these points over the last several months and even years at this point, and I haven't had a chance to use them. But then I realized that, hey, I got all these cards lying around, might as well redeem them and see what they're all about. And that's when I pushed exchange, and a couple weeks ago I did this, and as you can see right here, I have, as you can see right here, a couple of days ago I should say, but nevertheless same concept, it's 471 points, which I was really surprised about because that's obviously quite a few points. So I've bought several NG models over the last couple of years, and I didn't realize that this totaled up to 471, which I was just really surprised about. And I was like, man, I could do some serious damage now that I have all these points from NG models, because again, they weren't of value for 18 months or however long it was, but they finally got the redemption period going, and then of course I finally got a chance to get these into my account. As you can see, I have 471 points. So what does that mean in the practical sense? What does 471 points get you? Well, to my knowledge and from what I've seen so far, and we'll talk about this here on the document because this is the main show right here, we need to talk about NG Models' advantage over GeminiJets right now because it's huge. And before I begin talking about this, I want to say GeminiJets has done an awesome job in 2023 and hopefully going into 2024. GeminiJets is a great company. Over half my collection is from GeminiJets, and I think it's very important to preface that as GeminiJets has done a really good job, and I'm very pleased with what they're doing, and I'm really excited for what their future holds. And they're not a bad company by any means. This is not an attack on GeminiJets. This isn't to criticize them, but the reason that it's an advantage is what I'm going to describe below, and I think it's really important to acknowledge this advantage because I haven't seen many people talking about it, but I think it's really important, especially for some narratives that have been made about GeminiJets and NG models. I think it's important to acknowledge all of the value that you get when you purchase these model aircraft, and I think this video will do a really good job acknowledging that. So let's talk about NG Models' huge advantage over GeminiJets in my opinion. As you saw previously, I have 471 points, so we'll just use the example I have firsthand to make it as practical as possible. So we have 471 points from 44 models I have on those cards. The value of these cards ranges anywhere from 10 to 13 points. It was initially all 10 points, but some of the newest releases have been all the way up to 13. So anyways, we have the average model prices below for right now here in early 2024. A GeminiJets narrow-body aircraft typically costs around $42. A GeminiJets wide-body aircraft typically costs around $53 when you incorporate flaps down and A380s into that price. NG Models narrow-body typically costs around $48. It obviously varies between $47 and $49 depending on where you get it. The NG Models wide-bodies are usually around $56 when you incorporate some of the special releases and the complex printing that they do. So that brings us out to GeminiJets having an average model price of $48 and NG Models having an average price of $52. There is some give and take there. You get really particular and go find every single example out there, but from some brief calculations across some various websites that sell both these model aircraft manufacturers, you can see here that it somewhere comes between 48 and 52 for the averages for GeminiJets and NG Models respectfully. So you'd think, from looking at this vantage point, you would think that GeminiJets is going to be cheaper the majority of the time when you're buying these aircraft, especially in the narrow body landscape, because as you can tell, GeminiJets narrow bodies are typically $42, while the narrow body for NG models is $48. Well, let's scroll down to the next line here because we have some very important math to assess. So 44 NG models times 52, which we're going to call cost per model. So CPM in this case will be cost per model. So 44 NG models times $52 per model comes out to $2,288, as you can see right here. So the reason I use 44 is because I'm going off of 44 models that I bought for these cards, because every one of these 44 models from NG comes with one of these collector cards. So GeminiJets obviously doesn't come with any cards, so I just have 44 GeminiJets models times an average price of $48 comes out to $2,112. So you can see right here that you can get on average, let's say somewhere in the ballpark of 4 more GeminiJets per model. I think it was like 48.5 or somewhere in that number, but nevertheless, you can get 4 more GeminiJets if you spend the same amount of money for 44 NG models. That's not completely true, because you can't forget about the card that comes with these NG models, because now it's redeemable on the NG models website. So let's scroll down to our next line. So as you can see right here, 471 points across all the models that we talked about right here for the 44 NG models that I got. And then we're going to divide this right here, the 471 points, by 40 PPMR, which is going to stand for points per model redemption, because obviously the majority of the NG models redemptions on their selector, when you go in there to redeem models on the CRP plan on their website, are typically around 40. Not all of them are, because I have a 60 here, and I'll talk about that momentarily. But anyways, let's continue to focus on this. 471 points divided by 44 PPRM, points per model redemption, comes out to 11.775, or 12 models right here. So you can see right here, this would get you 12 models, which is just unbelievable to say the least. And then you can see I did it for its most favorable situation, 471 points divided by 60 PPRM, because some of the good models that NG Models has on their redemptions are anywhere from 60. I've seen a couple of at 100, especially some 1 to 200 models, but nevertheless, we'll just say 60 on average, because you can get a pretty good model for 60. That comes out to 7.85 or 8. So you can get 8 more models at 60, which is incredible. But we'll use the main figure up here to say, you know, for the sake of how many models do you really get? Just model aircraft. Also, what I mean by good is an aircraft that's not like, you know, a Northwest 757 in the Orient livery, or one of those that's not a self-sitter model is what I'm saying. So a model that's not in stock everywhere, you know, a model that it has some value, like a Southwest special livery or equivalent. All of that varies on how NG structures that, but nevertheless, what I'm trying to say right here is you can see we can get 12 models for 471 points. That's the main purpose of what we're trying to do here. So let's scroll down to the next line, as it's very important. Okay, so for $52 NG models average, and we can times that times 12 more NG models, you can see right here, $52 times 12 NG models, that's a value of $624, which is unbelievable. So the fact that we are getting $624 worth of NG models for free when we just buy 44 other models is truly incredible. And I've done this math for the 8 models that we would get for 471 points on a 60 PPRM, again, points per model redemption. So if we do it over here times 8 models, that's still a value of $400 for 8 really good models, which is just absolutely incredible to me. So now it's time to scroll down to the next line, as we're going to get into the really important part right here. It's bolded for a reason. So according to my calculations, I rounded up to a bigger number so it was a little bit more clear. You can get 60 total NG models for $2,500 and 52 GeminiJets models for $2,500. This is important. The narrative that NG models is more expensive than GeminiJets is not true anymore, according to my calculations right here, because with the CRP redemption points, you can get up to 12 NG models if you spend $2,500. So we'll say, for the sake of making it simple, you can get up to 2 free models for spending like $500, which is incredible. So yeah, let's just say you get a free model every $250 that you spend, and I need to show this next line as well so that it can be as clear as possible. plenty of give and take can be assessed here, but mathematically, NG Models has the advantage. 5 to 8 free models is elite. GeminiJets can't match that. So as you can see right here, off of the math that we have just calculated, you get 60 NG models for $2,500. Otherwise, 1 free model for every 5 models that you buy, or $250. And then for GeminiJets, as you can see right here, you only get 52 models for $2,500. So according to my math, GeminiJets is more expensive than NG models, and it's absolutely crazy to think about this in the real grand scheme of it, because obviously with GeminiJets the price on the front of the page is way cheaper by a significant margin. But again, I was just redeeming all these, I put all these points into my account, and I didn't realize that I can literally get 12 models with 471 points, which is just absolutely crazy. So this is really important. I think that we all really have to start thinking about this, especially for us collectors that buy in bulk, because you can do some real damage buying, obviously bulk buying NG, and you can even take this down a step. So we can say for $1,250 that you can get 30 NG models, and I might be getting the math a little bit wrong here, but only 26 GeminiJets. So you get 4 free models if you spend a little over $1,000. So it's essentially Black Friday year round, which is kind of crazy. So if we really think about it, you get 3 free models for every $1,000 you spend, or 4 free models, whatever you want to call it. It varies a little bit, and again, it really depends on what models you're redeeming, what models that you're buying, because obviously now the points vary from every single aircraft. So it all depends on all these particular factors. It's very important to incorporate that into your thought process. But at the bare minimum, if you're just wanting to get as many total model aircraft as possible, from my calculations, you can get up to 8 free NG models for every $2,500 you spend, which is important, especially for us that collect in bulk. Now, if you're not collecting in bulk, GeminiJets may be a better option for you with regards to the price, because obviously you're not going to get up to that threshold of $2,500 or even $1,000 or whatever you want to call it. However, you have to keep in mind, I was shocked when I saw this and really thought about it. I was like, I can do a full massive unboxing just because I bought NG models for 2 years, if that makes sense. I bought for the last 2 years, I've bought NG models. I've got a card with every single one, and now I have enough to get over 10 free NG models, which is incredible. And definitely check out the NG models Instagram. Usually what they do is, for 3 days every single month, they'll open up the CRP redemption window, and what that is you'll go on their website for the 3 days that it's open, and then you'll select the model that you want, because you can take your points and then you see what models are available for the selection, and then you can select accordingly. And again, they vary in regards to point value. Some of them are only 40 points, other ones can be as high as 100, but again, that all depends on scale, what type of aircraft you're talking about, etc. And again, stay on the lookout on their Instagram page, as they'll be showing that. They'll make a post when they're going to open that window, and I'll also try to make a video on that window when it opens next time, because as you can tell, I got a bunch of points and I need to do some redeeming, because I could do a full massive unboxing here, which is absolutely incredible. I also haven't done a redemption yet, so I really want to do one to see how it all works and the full process. So I'll be sure to make a full video on the process itself. But this is a huge advantage for NG models that I think all of us kind of let slip through our minds, since obviously the CRP program was announced 2 years ago at this point, and obviously is really just now hitting its stride. And I think it's really important to acknowledge what NG models is capable of doing with this advantage. And I think that if you buy in bulk especially, this is an advantage that you can't miss out on. In addition, obviously, NG models typically have really high quality and can be, in some cases, more accurate and precise than some GeminiJets mold, particularly on the Airbus and Boeing narrow-body airplanes, and a little bit more precision with regards to the proportions and other such features, that it's a win-win for collectors. You get the models that you want from NG with amazing detail, printing, and usually really good colors. On top of that, you're going to get free ones with the CRP Redemption Rewards program. So let me know your stories about CRP. I would love to hear in the comment section, but this is a huge advantage that NG models has. And I think it's really important that we recognize this, because again, it slipped my mind. Then I found all these cards that I had and I redeemed them. You can see right here, I literally have $600 worth of free NG models that now I can utilize. And again, give and take, wide bodies are going to be more, narrow bodies are less popular narrow bodies are less, more popular narrow bodies are more. We know the drill with regards to that, but I literally can get 12 free NG models. So models that I had to pass on due to my budget, now I can come back around and redeem those, and along with other models. And of course, the selection isn't as wide. They don't have every single plane there, but there's still gems. In the last one, there was the United 787-10, American Chrome 757-200 in the One World livery, Southwest Missouri 1, Southwest Maryland 1, and so many more good ones that you just can't pass it up. And it's awesome as a casual collector, especially if you even just get $250 and get a free model. It's like, hey, I got a free model and I only bought 4 or 5. With GeminiJets, you don't have that. You just buy and that's it. What do you have? A box to work with, and NG provides that too. So I mean, there's not any benefit there. But with this elite plan that NG Models came up with, it took forever. The redemption process can be challenging from what I understand. Again, I'll be making a full video on that process, so definitely stay on the lookout for it. I just can't help but recognize this huge advantage that NG Models has right now over GeminiJets with this. And again, plenty of give and take can be done here. But at the end of the day, we can assess that GeminiJets is more expensive than NG Models, if you want to call it that, which is just unbelievable to think about it in that context with that connotation. But if we go over the full deal, if we know the drill, it comes out that NG Models is less expensive than GeminiJets, which is just crazy. But I'll be sure to make a follow-up video on this one on how to redeem on CRP the next time that they do it. So I'm looking very forward to it. It'll probably be a full mass unboxing because I literally have 471 points. So I'm really excited to go redeem. But NG Models, thank you for making this such a easy a valuable asset, to say the least, because obviously I've bought all the models that I've won from NG. I have 500 points that I can utilize, and now I'm going to get 12 NG models for free, which is just awesome. I'm looking very forward to that asset, and I'm really excited. So I really hope all of you found this helpful. If you need more information on CRP, let me know. Otherwise, check out their website and get ready for the next redemption period, as hopefully we'll be ready to rock. I'm looking very forward to what this will be about, even if it's challenging to redeem. It's $600 in value, and I'm certainly not going to let that pass up, and I hope all of you agree with the same process. So with all that being said, everybody, that'll do it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. I want to thank each and every one of you for watching. My name is Redriveraviation. Take it easy, everybody. Stay safe. Trust the process. Do you love and love you do. My name is Redriveraviation. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all soon as Redriveraviation is signing off.